Welcome to the show before the show, Hockey Night in Canada Punjabi's Facebook Live show. It is the Deep Agenda of Hockey Night in Canada Punjabi, and we've got some very special guests in the studio today, the Singh brothers.
Whoa, the boys from Bollywood.
Is that what it is now?
Well, it's always been
that? Oh,
that's
okay.
a horrible introduction. I'll be honest with you. You let us down. You let us down. Why don't you try it? Why don't you try it? Why don't you try it? Try it.
You got to give me another try.
Okay, let's go. Bollywood. Try it.
Bollywood.
No.
You're getting there. We'll get it.
I'll get there one day. I'll get there one day. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
And this is a special moment because you guys are hardcore hockey fans.
Hardcore.
And you've been playing. We'll get into that. But what got both of you guys into the sport of hockey?
You know what? I think it was just watching it on TV with our folks. That's all, really. I still remember watching Team Canada World Cup '87.
Okay.
And I still remember Gretzky, Messier, and I was hooked.
Yeah, same as like, remember the Gretzky cartoon?
Yeah.
You remember that?
It was like, Bo Jackson.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it was great, and just watching it with mom, dad, growing up as kids, and just evolved, and we started playing at a very young age.
It was hockey and Bollywood movies.
Okay, and you kind of combined it as you grew up.
Yeah.
All right, I see you're wearing Vancouver Canucks jerseys. You've got the Bo Horvat in the middle here. You got the Pavel Bure,
Number 10, baby.
the old school with all the patches, even the 94 patches.
Official.
94.
Who was your favorite player growing up? I know who yours was.
It says on the sweater, but Wayne Gretzky as well.
Really?
Yes, I still remember getting my first OPG Wayne Gretzky hockey card from my pops, and again, Gretzky, Bure. At that time, nobody touched either one of them.
Yeah, for me, definitely Wayne Gretzky. Then Steve Yzerman as I got a little older. I remember him in that playoffs, what was it, 2002, where he tore his ACL?
Yeah.
And just that was
I think you were a Mark Messier guy, too.
I was a Messier guy for a bit.
With the Canucks? Or
yeah, you know, we're kids.
say.
And Sakic, we're Burnaby boys.
Right.
That's right.
Joe Sakic, Burnaby.
We just loved hockey.
So you mentioned you grew up in Burnaby. You went to the shout out to Mosscrop Secondary. That's what your school is. As far as growing up playing hockey, did you guys play as well?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So we both grew up playing in Burnaby Minor.
Yeah.
Again, we started playing at the age of 8, 7. But before we even did that, we were playing in our parents' front yard, just making a Stanley Cup out of a Pepsi can or something like that.
Yeah, like every Canadian kid dreamed of playing in the NHL. And by the time you get to 12, you realize you're not going to make it. But it kept us, it's just extracurricular activities and kept us on path and kept us out of trouble.
It gave us
as
a goal,
kid.
gave us a dream. Like, okay, I want to be in the NHL. And we did whatever we could during the summertime. Roll hockey and then street hockey. And then finally, when the season would roll around, we were just playing. For us, it was just cool.
It was like formative years, you could tell, look back, like the teamwork, and learned a lot that you applied years later for what we do now. It's very similar.
And that supreme discipline that you guys have. Before we got on air here, I think, you were talking about the cheat meal. And did that early hockey experience kind of teach you that discipline?
No, because I had no discipline. No, that's more now. But back then, as kids, we didn't when we were playing hockey, we didn't have anybody to look up to as far as our older brother goes to teach us the right way. So we were just winging it.
But it does teach you discipline. I mean, 4 a.m. practices, and you apply that. Years later, when you become an adult, you're able to use that, something you've instilled in yourself as a kid through your parents, and okay, hard work, practices, and no matter what your job is, you can still apply that years later.
But more importantly, big ups to our parents for getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to taking us to hockey practices, because it's not easy.
You realize how expensive hockey is and how much how hard it is to get your children involved, and our parents work overtime just to be able to pay for everything, and it's not a cheap sport to play. So
yeah, credit to your parents. They've done an amazing job, teaching you guys over time, and congratulations to all that you've achieved. You're a guiding light for a lot of people in the community. So shout out to both of you. You have a few interactions with NHLers to this day. You guys are big time hockey fans, as we discussed. You even got Roberto Luongo in a skit recently.
Bobby Loser.
What was that experience like?
Oh, there you go. That's a nice picture.
That's awesome.
So it's funny. The very first time I met Roberto was my wife used to work downtown Vancouver, and I saw Luongo walking with his family. I'm like, hey, Roberto, I'm just a big fan. Can I take a picture with you? Sure. Fast forward to a few years later, he's reaching out to us for hey guys, I see you guys are in town in Florida. Do you mind, just get a couple tickets?
He's an amazing guy.
He's an amazing guy.
It's one of those things where this job, like WWE, opens up so many avenues. You get to meet so many amazing athletes, celebrities,
And
entertainers.
they're all wrestling fans. That's the cool thing.
I've noticed that as well because
Right.
I talk to hockey players all the time as
Right.
well, and they say, hey, you know, I think even mutually, we've been, you know, somebody has reached out to meet you guys through me as well, which is kind of tells you how many hockey players.
And you were just telling me earlier that Crosby might be a big hockey fan.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
HBK line, you know.
That's right. And Shawn Michaels was at the Pittsburgh Penguins games a few years back as well because of that line. Do you find that when you go to those rinks that turn into
It's the best. Like we love going to hockey arenas. And
It's just weird. Like I remember going like Edmonton or Ottawa. It's like
or Joe Louis Arena.
Yeah, I mean that was a great experience. We
shut it down.
Yeah, we were the
Very
last
last show.
event ever in the Joe Louis Arena. Then they shut it down. So
Historical arena.
but
And
it's
going
just-
back to Luongo, sorry, like, you know, even his kids, his family, they're big wrestling fans. So like just to put smiles on their kids' faces and seeing, you know, building that relationship over the years, it's been awesome.
Well, you guys talked about your road, and it was not an easy one. And I know going back to 2013, seeing you guys locally in the Vancouver area, and in a lot of ways, very parallel to what hockey players go through. You kind of working your way in the minors and getting your shot.
Bingo Hall, Russian Community Center. That's where you guys came out.
Yeah.
Take me back to those days of just hustling and grinding and trying to reach that level. What was that like?
Looking back, it was fun. You know, like, and you don't realize it. You're grinding. You're just doing it. You know, years later, you look like, oh, I was grinding. I was working hard. But that time, we were just so involved and like, okay, we have a dream. This is our dream. What's it going to take to get there? One door shuts. Okay, let's move to the next door. And it's just this constant climb.
It's a cool thing. I remember Chris Jericho once saying that if you can get over in a community center or a bingo hall, you can definitely get over in the big leagues because you know how to do it. And I feel like we've applied that in what we're doing now and, you know, working our way to that point. But going back to what you were saying, like those bingo halls, those community centers, that's the humble beginning. That's the dream right there.
Yeah.
Well, credit to you guys who've done an amazing job. It's not only about reaching that, it's also probably staying at that. Isn't that, you hear from that from hockey players and professional athletes all the time.
I remember when we got signed, one of the first persons we called was Edge, Adam Copeland, Toronto guy, big hockey guy. And I remember the first thing he said, he's like, congratulations. But he's like, now the real work starts. He's like, it's one thing to get signed to WWE. It's another thing to stay there. It's just the same thing as hockey. It's one thing to make it to an NHL team, but how many guys play the first line,
we got the
second
sweater,
line?
but now how do we keep that sweater on?
And so that's the challenge.
You've done an amazing job. You're making everybody in the Punjabi community, the South Asian community, and all Canadians very, very proud because you are Canadians and you're from, you know, British Columbia. Big Vancouver Canucks fans as well.
Vancouver fans.
Boston versus Vancouver tonight. But before I do that, though, last week,
Let's hear.
This is where I got to speak a little. Last week there was an event at Rogers Arena, and you guys had Canucks jerseys on, and then all of a sudden turned in another way, and you had Leafs and LA Kings jerseys on. Here's the picture right here.
First of all, I do want to say that my brother and I are huge movie stars in Bollywood, so we were busy. We were busy filming, and we sent our stunt doubles.
We did. That's
to
a stunt double.
Rogers Arena.
As you can
That's
see,
not me.
My brother's got
my hair
way
is
bigger
tied
arms
up.
than that.
My hair is tied up.
Right.
His hair is down. I'm not wearing pink tights. I'm wearing blue jeans.
Even the referee
Huge
looks
difference.
confused. That's not.
Well, that was our stunt double. We want to apologize to Vancouver. We came back in town this week just to put the Canucks jerseys on, let you know that we are still huge Vancouver Canucks fans.
Huge.
So we fired our stunt doubles, so we'll be getting new ones. So it's all
right. That's the story.
That's the
story.
It's the truth. It's a fact.
Just wanted to make sure. All right, Vancouver versus Boston tonight in the late game on Hockey Night in Canada. I want some predictions from the boys. Who's winning tonight? Give me a score. Game-winning goal is scored by who?
I'm going to go with Horvat. I think he's great. I'm saying about 3-1.
I think
it's going
all right.
I'm going to say Pedersen. He'll score 2, and it'll be 7-2 Vancouver. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, wow, 7-2.
Wow, bold prediction.
Definitely take the over on the goals.
It's Saturday night.
Bold prediction.
Sunil, Samir, the Singh bros, they are doing the community proud. Make sure to catch them wherever WWE events are.
Yes.
Keep up the great work, guys. Thank you very much for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll catch you at Hockey Night in Canada, Punjabi. Doubleheader coming up tonight.